Hello everyone, this is Kapil here. I'm here to give a presentation on my seminar report about thermocline energy storage. So basically this is storage system for harnessing solar radiations in the form of heat energy. We'll start from the basics. So there are two general methods in place for harnessing solar radiations. So the first one is solar heat collector. This is mostly used in power plants. So this method converts sunlight into heat energy, and that heat is used for industrial purpose as well as space heating. And the second one is photovoltaic cells, or also known as PV cells. These you may have seen in the street lights, and this method converts sunlight into electricity directly, and that electricity is used for household purposes and industrial purposes sometimes. Now, if we talk about India, then 7% of the total energy generation in India is from solar radiations. Okay, and in 2018, 89% growth has been seen in this sector. So this is a promising sign. Now let's talk more about the methods that are available. So the PV cells, basically the sunlight falls on its flat surface and with the help of semiconductors and transistors directly converted into electricity. Now the second method is solar thermal technology, in which with the help of mirrors the radiations from the sun are concentrated onto a pipe in which fluid is flowing. Okay, so that fluid is heated and stored in a storage system, and then it is used for running a turbine to generate electricity. Okay, now this PV cell has only 20% of capturing efficiency and 45% of conversion efficiency, which is very low to use in power plants. Therefore, this solar thermal technology is used, and also the major factor is that PV cells doesn't work in night time, whereas solar thermal technology stores the heat. Therefore, it can be used to generate electricity in the night. Also, as the radiations are concentrated onto the fluid, therefore the plants which use this method of solar thermal technology are also known as concentrated power plants. Now, in most of the power plants that use solar power, there are two general methods of concentrating the solar radiation. The first one is the parabolic method, in which mirrors are shaped in the form of parabola, and the pipe which contains fluid is placed at the center of this parabola. Therefore, the radiations are concentrated onto this pipe and the fluid is heated. Whereas the second method is the power tower method, in which flat surface mirrors are placed around the tower in such a way that they concentrate the solar radiations onto the top of this tower in which fluid is stored. Okay. As flat surface mirrors are cheap, therefore this method is cheaper than parabolic method, but the parabolic method provides an efficient way of heating. Therefore this method is used. So after the fluid has been heated, it has to be stored, and there are three ways to store the heat. The first method is thermochemical energy, in which the collected heat is used to start an endothermic reaction, and that heat is stored as a chemical potential. Now, whenever heat is required in night time or whenever there is power shortage, exothermic reactions are started and heat can be recovered by that. Now, the second method is latent heat method, in which phase changing materials are used and they absorb the collected heat when they change their phase. Now, whenever heat is required, it can be recovered from these materials. Now, the third and the most used method is the sensible heat method, in which materials are heated and their sensible heat energy is increased. So, whenever extra energy is required, this heat can be recovered from them. This method is really cost effective, and the materials that are used in latent heat and thermochemical method are really toxic and flammable. Therefore, it is better and safe to use sensible heat method. An overview of how the system works is shown in this figure, as the mirrors that are used heat the fluid and it is sent through the collector to the thermal energy storage tank, and then it can be sent to the power plant to generate electricity. As we have seen the methods to concentrate the radiations, now there are two systems generally used in power plants to store this thermal energy. So the first one is single tank storage method, and the second one is two tank storage method. So the single tank storage method uses a single tank to store hot and cold fluid both, whereas the two tank storage method stores hot fluid and cold fluid separately. The idea of how this single tank storage method works is shown in this figure. So this storage tank sends the cold fluid into solar collectors, and using the radiations it is heated and again flowed back to the tank. Now whenever the power plant needs extra heat, it can be sent through this tank, and the cold fluid again flows back into the tank. Whereas in this two tank system, the cold fluid storage tank sends the cold fluid into solar collectors. Now it is heated using solar radiations and sent to the hot fluid tank. Now whenever the power plant needs extra heat, it is sent through this hot tank and the cold fluid is sent back to this cold fluid tank. As clear from the mechanism itself, the single storage method uses less heat transfer fluid as well as is cost effective, as there is only one tank stored and it is simple in its mechanism. Two tank storage method was used excessively in the last decade, whereas now the single tank storage method has been given emphasis and is being analyzed extensively. Also, due to the storage of hot and cold fluid in the same tank, there is a thermal stratification that is formed in between them, and it is also known as thermocline. Also, due to its better efficiency, it is a most sought after method in power plants. Now, let's talk more about the single tank method. Here, a thermal profile of the single tank is shown. So, the stratification that I was talking about is this. Now, due to hot and cold fluid, a thermal stratification has been formed. This is the cold fluid and this is the hot fluid. So, in this particular profile, a tank is being filled with cold fluid. As you can see, the hot fluid is decreasing in volume as the hot fluid is being sent to the power plant and cold fluid is coming from the power plant. This thermal stratification also has a role to play in the increased efficiency of single tank storage method that we will talk about in the later part. Now we'll talk about the methods that has been introduced to further increase the efficiency of single tank storage method. So one of those innovations has been packed bed storage method, in which some filler materials are used and they are stored in this tank, as you can see. Now due to this method, there has been decrease in the heat transfer fluid as well as the ability to store heat for a longer time has been seen. So this has been a cost effective method. Now let's talk about the parameters that affect the single tank storage efficiency. So according to various modeling and analysis, the first parameter that has significant effect on the efficiency of single tank storage method is the tank dimensions. So various research has led to this theory that with increase in the height of this tank, the overall efficiency of the system will increase. Whereas an indirect relation between the diameter and the efficiency suggests that when diameter is increased, the filtration rate is reduced, which ultimately leads to increase in the efficiency of the system. Now this table shows the effect of height to diameter ratio on the efficiency of the system. It's clear from this table as when the height increases in respect to the diameter, the efficiency also increases. The second parameter would be filler materials. As we have talked in the packed bed storage method, filler materials play a significant role in the increase in efficiency of system. So as the filler material decrease the volume of STF in the system, it kind of directly impacts the efficiency of the system. So there has been various modelings of power plants to find a suitable filler material so that the efficiency of the system can be increased. This table shows the potential materials that can be used as filler materials in power plants. In most of the power plants, sand rock, mineral oil and reinforced concrete are used as filler materials as they are most compatible with the heat transfer fluids. Also, phase changing materials has been seen as potential filler materials, so various analysis on that has also been done. Now the most important parameter is the heat transfer fluid, as the properties of heat transfer fluid determines how efficiently the heat can be stored. So this table shows the heat transfer fluids that are used in power plants, and out of all that, when extensively analyzed, nitrate salts show promising signs, as the media cost per unit power generation is really low and it can be operated at high temperatures. Now among the nitrate salts, the salt which is most promising is the solar salt, which when compared to heat transfer fluids shows really low cost of energy storage. Also when compared to the heat transfer fluid used by space agencies, solar salt show a greater efficiency in heat storage method. The final analysis that has to be done before setting up a power plant is the cost analysis. So the cost per unit generation is calculated by the modeling of power plant and then the suitable method is selected. Now this table shows the comparison between the two tank system and the single tank thermocline system with packed bed thermocline system. With the same energy storage capacity and height of the tank, these methods has been compared on the basis of cost that one has to bear to set up this plant. So for the same energy storage capacity, the two tank system needs more heat transfer fluid as compared to the packed bed thermocline and the single tank thermocline method. Hence the overall cost that one has to bear on the two tank system as compared to the single tank packed bed system is really high. Therefore, packed bed thermocline system is used in most of the power plant. For making the thermocline system more cost effective, phase changing materials has been introduced to be used as filler materials. But there is a threshold up to which these phase changing materials can be used, as if we use too much of phase changing materials, the thermal energy storage cost increases. Now, as any system can't be perfect, therefore there has been some modifications in the thermocline energy system as well. So we'll talk about them. So the first one is thermocline control. This method introduced a way to control the thermocline degradation in a single tank energy storage system and hence make it more efficient. Now the second advice has been to develop softwares that are used in the modeling of power plants to make it more efficient by analyzing the parameters and comparing the materials that are used in power plants. And the latest introduction has been of auxiliaries and enhancers. So there has been various modifications in the working of energy storage method. So it was advised to alter the Rankine cycle that is used in power plants and also to extend the contact area of the pipe that contains the fluid which is heated by the mirrors. So basically I talked about the methods that are used for solar energy storage and the parameters that affect the storage efficiency. As solar power is the promising candidate to provide cost-effective electricity generation, therefore we need to store this energy efficiently and reduce our electricity generation from fossil fuels, which will lead us to being a complete clean energy consumers. That's all from my side. Thank you.